All right, finally getting to actually multiply by two-digit numbers. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to use the area model, which I imagine will be a very popular way to solve it because I think it breaks it apart nicely and is a more simple way to do it. So hopefully by the end, you'll be able to say, I can use an area model and partial products to multiply multi-digit whole numbers. The partial products part just means you add them together at the end. So the problem today, how can you determine the area of the youth soccer field? The picture they have there. Well, how do we get the area of a rectangle? We just do length times width. So go ahead and write that on your notes because that comes up in multiple problems. They'll give you word problems where they ask for the area and you have to multiply to get the area. So that is a times, by the way, and it's a little crooked. Times length times width. You could write L times W if you know what those stand for, if you remember. So now, like we said, we're just multiplying. What equation can you write? Well, I could do 72 times 114 equals A, equals the area. So in order to use the area model, we have to decompose the factors, and we do this in your notes. We do this by place value. So we decompose the numbers by place value, or you could say by writing in expanded form. That might make more sense to you. You could also say writing in expanded form. So whichever way makes the most sense to you so that you'll remember is what I would write down. Okay, because notice 72 is 70 plus 2, 114 is 100 plus 10 plus 4. So we're just taking each number and writing it separately. That's important for the area model, which hopefully you remember from doing the area model with one digit. Now I'm just going to show you how to do 2 digits. So notice it's a 3-digit number by a 2-digit number. So I have 3 up here and I have 2 down the side. So I actually have multiple rows this time instead of just one row. Now bear with me. I'm going to do some switching of colors to make my point of what goes where. So in this first box, I'm going to do 100 times 70, and 1 times 7 is 7, and then I have 3 zeros. So follow along with me and write this in your box so that you don't forget. All right, let me just scoot this. There we go. So now for 10 times 70 goes in this box. 1 times 7 is 7. 2 zeros. So 10 times 70 is 700. Then if we switch again, 4 times 70, well, 4 times 7 is 28. Then a 0. So notice it's just like I'm tracing them to see what goes in each box. So I just kind of like tick, 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 is how I get what's in there. So now I have 100 times 2. 200. I know I'm going a little slow, but I want you to see 10 times 2 is 20. And then, oof, that is a funky color. Make that color. 4 times 2 is 8 in that one right there. So that's what goes in each one. So there are a decent number of numbers once we get bigger numbers with more digits. But at the same time, it's just multiplying. You just have to worry about multiplying this step. Ooh. And then to get the area, we need to take all those numbers and do what? Add them together. So if I add them all up, I get 8,208. Okay, and you can just line them up vertically and add them. Or you could add each row separately and then add the 2 rows together. Just be careful when you're adding because you'd hate for that to be where you make your mistake. So the area is 8,208 square feet. We multiply, that's how many squares it would take to cover it. So we use area models and then partial products by adding to get the answer. This one we will do together, and then I'll have you do some practice. So 304 times 68. So, I'm actually going to stay in here because I'm actually going to split that up, and I'm going to add on another thing. So 300, 0, and 4, and then 68. So I wrote them each in expanded form. Now I'm going to have 300 times 60 here, which is 18,000. I can go in any order I want. So I'm going to do 0 times 60, which is 0. 4 times 60, which is 240. So using some of those patterns we looked at in the other one. Here I have 300 times 8, which is 2,400. 0 times 8 is 0. 4 times 8 is 32. And now I can just add those all up. So I'm going to do it over here. 18,000, 240, 2,400. If it helps, you can always use lined notebook paper if you're having trouble lining them up. Because if you squish some together and spread some apart, you're going to get it wrong. So just make sure I have one from each number in each column. So then I get my answer, 20,672, which might feel like a big number, but if I go back up here and I estimate, well, 300 times 70 is 21,000, which for multiplication is reasonably close to 20,672. So I'm like, okay, I think I feel good about that I got it. Let's see, 20,672. So now I'll have you do some practice. And these do take some time. So it's okay if once it pauses and you take a couple minutes to figure it out on your whiteboard or your scratch paper, that is just fine. It does take a little while because you're doing a lot of multiplying. Now that being said, I want you to at least try the area model. Even if you end up going back to a different strategy, I would at least try the area model. So go ahead. See if you can figure out what would go in here, and then get your answer is 154 times 36. All right, hope you got it. If we do, they filled in 2 of our numbers for us, but now I have 50 times 30, which is 1,500. 4 times 30 is 120. I don't know why they made that box so small. 50 times 6. 30 with another 0. Don't be confused because you added a 0 because 5 times 6 is 30. You still need to add that other one. And then 24. So now if I add up 3,000, 1,500, 120, 600, 324. So notice we have a lot of numbers. So if you're like, that is too many numbers for me to add up all at once, just add the 2 rows separately. So like add these numbers and add these numbers and then add those 2 numbers together. Would be my recommendation at least. 4, 4, 5 plus 1 is 6, plus 6 is 12, plus 3 is 15. 1 plus 3 plus 1 is 5. 5,544 on that one. Let's check and see. Look at that. All right. We will do, I'm going to skip that one. Go ahead and do 15 times 24. All right, hopefully you got it. So I'm going to split this up into 20 times 4. This one, 10 times 5. Notice how it was just 2 digits by 2 digits, so I just need a box that's 2 by 2. That's how I decide how big of a box to draw. If you need help figuring that part out, let me know. So now I have 20 times 10. 1 times 2 is 2 with 2 zeros. 4 times 10 is 40. 20 times 5 is 100. And 4 times 5 is 20. So I might be able to do this on my head. 20 plus 200 plus 100 is 300. 40 plus 20 is 60. So I get 360. Somehow I always feel the need to check to make sure. Because even I make mistakes sometimes. It happens. Sometimes we just get a weird mind blank. All right. 28 times 132. Go ahead and try it. All right. Hope you got it. I have no idea why they made that box so small. So I'm going to extend it to go 20 and 8. And then we'll need 3 this way, so 130 and 2. Well, hopefully that'll be enough space. This does go to show I might have made it too small, in which case, make big enough boxes. We have lots of paper. You don't need to worry, or use the whole whiteboard. All right, 1 times 2 is 2. I'll squeeze my 3 zeros. This is 600 right there. 2 times 20 is 40. 100 times 8 is 800. 30 times 8 is 240. 2 times 8 is 16. Now I can add them together. Maybe I just add 1 row at a time this time. So that's 2,640. It's kind of easy because I didn't have any in the same places. This I do have 800 and 240. So I might say, okay, 240 plus 16. Well, that's 6, 5, and 10. So I have 1056, and then I can add them up. So that might feel less overwhelming to you, which is fine. 3,696. All right. Let's do one more. And if you need more examples than that, if you need more help than that, just fine. I am happy to sort of show you where I'm getting these different things. So 225 times 72. Go ahead. All right, hopefully you took the time you needed and you got it. 225. So notice how I'm just making a big old box. Because why not? It's much easier than trying to squish it in. I'm writing it in expanded form. Writing that in expanded form. So now I have 2 times 7 is 14 with 3 zeros. 2 times 7 is 14 again, just with 2 zeros. 5 times 7 is 35 with 1 zero. Here we have 400, 40, and 10. So now if I add them all together, 440, 10. If you got it wrong, make sure you're paying attention and saying, what did I do wrong? Where did maybe I copied it down wrong. Maybe I accidentally multiplied wrong. Maybe I got all those numbers and I just added wrong. That happens, right? 5, 6, 7, 8, 12, 6, and 1. So 16,200. I think it's okay if I put a comma. There we go. All right. If you still need help, let us know, and good luck.